So yeah, you can come to a comfortable position. Once you're comfortable, just making sure that your spine is in alignment. So feeling that your shoulders are in line with your hips. So whether you are vertical or horizontal, just feeling that alignment. And maybe picturing the back of your head, like the top of your neck, aligning with your pelvic floor. And feeling those kind of reaching in opposite directions. Adding a little bit of length to your spine. And if you feel safe to do so in the space that you're in, you can let your eyes close at any moment. And take a nice big cleansing breath. Inhaling big through the nose. Exhaling to let it all go. You can do that as many times as you need to. And trusting that when our exhales are audible, when we sigh or push the air out of us in a way that we can hear ourselves doing that, it communicates to our body on a deeper and more cellular level that we are exhaling, we're releasing. It's time to relax. So you can use that as a tool throughout your days or throughout this practice. If you start to feel a little caught up in sensations in the body or thoughts in the mind, just taking that time to reset and let out any sounds that want to come out. Sometimes tears want to come out, sometimes laughter, whatever emotional release or sound is wanting to get out of your body, just feel free to let it go. Can soften your forehead and your eyebrows and soften the corners of your eyes so that you feel the eyelids are just softly resting over the eyeballs. And all those muscles that usually scrunch when you squint, letting even those muscles soften. And letting your jaw hang into place, not feeling the need to hold up your jaw or your mouth in any way. Allowing for any expression on the face to just melt away as the muscles in your cheeks relax, the ears, the scalp, the hairline. As you feel all the muscles in the face and the head almost hanging off of their bones. Just that tiny bit of space, that tiny bit, those tiny spaces of release in between the muscles and the bones, that softness. And then noticing the position of your heart before you fix anything in your posture. Just notice what your resting posture is like in the shoulders and the heart. Noticing where the heart is resting in between the shoulders. And often I myself will find myself, or I think many people do this, that your heart is kind of resting in the cave of your shoulders. So kind of curling back, the shoulders coming forward. And for this practice, letting our heart lead us, feeling that heart become a little bit more proud, kind of coming out of that cave. The space in between the collarbones and your breastbone is wide and broad and proud. Shoulders resting away from the ears, the neck is long. And feeling that really soft tuck of your chin. So it's not like coming too far down, it's just really, really slight, so that you feel the length in the back of your neck. Another cue I heard that might make sense to some people is feeling the roof of your mouth parallel to the floor if you're sitting upright. And I guess if you're laying down, perpendicular to the floor. I'm not sure if that makes sense for you, but if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, just leave it. And just so that you can feel that channel that you're creating from the heart center through the neck and into the head and the mind. And the neck is nice and straight and long. The energy and the blood from the heart can reach the mind with a bit more ease. And softening the rib cage. A lot of times when we make the heart proud, our ribs tend to flare open. So tucking the bottom of your ribs back under so that you're not losing any length in your spine. If we tend to straighten out the upper spine, then sometimes the lower spine can kind of start to curl and knock our posture out of whack. So just feeling the entire length of your spine from your tailbone all the way through the crown of your head nice and straight. So there'll be a gentle tucking of the bottom of your rib cage. If you're sitting upright, a gentle tucking of your stomach, just so that you feel the muscles in your stomach and your back supporting your posture, supporting your spine, supporting your lower back. And then softening your hips and your pelvic floor and your glutes. So just letting your seat be totally relaxed into the surface that you're sitting on. Softening the muscles in your thighs. Softening the muscles around your knees, in your shins and your calves, your ankles, your feet and your toes. And then softening the muscles in your upper arms, in your elbows, lower arms, your wrists, your hands and fingers. So just feeling that first general wave of awareness and softness over the entire body. You've now checked in, even just for a moment, to every part of your body. And just make a commitment to yourself now to allow this practice to be your practice. So if we're moving our awareness through the body, and in your specific body you're going through some pain in a specific body part, or if there's any area in your body that's begging for more of your attention, don't shy away from focusing there and letting the healing energy of your awareness rest where it needs to rest. If you feel led by my words to follow along anyway, then being okay with that, but just always trusting your instincts throughout this practice. So start to notice your breath, and not controlling your breath in any way. First, just noticing it. And if you are breathing through your mouth, gently closing the mouth, allowing yourself to take in air through the nose. Even if your nose is a little congested or stuffy, just trying that out anyway, trying to visualize congestion clearing up, maybe having some tissues nearby, and just trusting the mucous membrane in your nose is acting as that natural filter for the air. So when we breathe in through the mouth, we don't have that filter. So every breath we take in through the nose is going to provide a lot more benefits to our body. Just noticing the air as it enters your nose, noticing it as it exits your nose. Just stepping back and up in your mind into that role of the observer. Observing the pattern of your breath without control. Noticing where the breath is traveling. And remembering how you have the ability to control where your breath goes. So if you're feeling tired or like your mind is a little blank or numb, you can direct your breath into your mind and just see that straight channel of energy from your nose into the mind. Allowing the breath to swirl and remove any toxins and fill in those spaces with light or with patience, with understanding. If you're needing some more love, allowing this breath to travel a little deeper into your heart center. So watching the air on its path as it goes into the nose and goes down the neck and into your heart center. And same thing, swirling and clearing anything that doesn't need to be there, filling in those spaces with love and patience. Maybe sending the breath into your lungs, feeling the fronts, backs, and sides of your rib cage expanding with this breath and falling with the exhale. Seeing the entire volume of your lungs being filled up with air with each one of your inhales. Letting go of things that don't need to be there on the exhales and filling in those empty spaces on your inhales. Allowing the breath to travel even deeper into the body, coming into your stomach, your pelvic floor, even all the way to the root of your spine, just welcoming, opening up the body to allow the breath to go deep into the low belly. Feeling the stomach expanding with the inhales and falling with the exhales. Letting go of anything your body doesn't need anymore on the exhales. And then just letting the breath travel where it wants to travel. awareness resting generally over this entire moment, over your body, as you bring some awareness to the space between the eyebrows. Your inner gaze gazing into the forehead as you soften the eyelids, as you soften the forehead and the eyebrows. And you release the eyeballs into their sockets. So release the need to hold up the eyes in any way and just allow them to be supported, allow them to rest. Softening the jaw and the muscles in the face even more. Feeling the weight of your jaw, the weight of your chin, and the lightness in the crown of your head. Like the crown of your head is being magnetically pulled up toward the ceiling. As if there was a string traveling up and down your spinal cord, lifting you up through the crown of your head, and that string traveling down the back of your neck, down the length of your spine, and through the root of your spine in between your sit bones. And the bottom of that string being anchored in the earth beneath you. So you feel yourself supported through your seat and lifted through the crown of your head. And start to notice anything that you see in your inner vision, in your inner landscape. And staying in that role of the observer, so not trying to see anything specific, not trying too hard to make out or label exactly what it is you see. Just letting yourself witness whatever the eyes are taking in. It could just be black, it could be different colors or shapes, or maybe specific scenes. Whatever is playing out in your own mind screen. And start to bring awareness into your ears. And notice if there was any tension residing in the ears. And allow your presence and your awareness to let the ears rest into place. And starting to notice all the sounds that you hear. And the same thing like we did with our sight, not trying too hard to hear anything specific or label any sounds that you hear, maybe as annoying or distracting or unpleasant. If there are any sounds that you might want to label like that in your environment, practicing just letting them be there, letting them exist. Trusting that resistance, that negative labeling and fighting of the sounds is what makes it so much worse. So just letting any distractions be there. If you're in a very quiet environment, even noticing the humming of your lights or of your refrigerator, of your heat or air conditioning maybe. Any sounds of nature outside, or cars or trains. Noticing those layers of sounds. So whatever is furthest away from you, whatever is the furthest thing from your body that you could possibly tune into. And then the closest sounds to your body, so even within your body, the sound of your heartbeat, the sound of your breath, any other sounds your body is making. And all those spaces in between, allowing your awareness to dance through these layers of sounds, just listening wherever is grabbing your attention, moving on if your attention moves elsewhere, listening there. Your own personal symphony. And feeling the pulsing of your ears. And if you imagine like someone taking a mold of your ear, trying to let your awareness pour into your ears just like a mold would. So starting on like the skin of the ears and then naturally just melting into every crevice, every little shape, going into the ears, feeling the skin of the ear canals, the surface, the eardrums. Just keep traveling into the inner ears until your awareness meets together, the space between the inner ears. And as your awareness rests here, letting your shoulders drop, letting your forehead and eyes soften even more. As you just find a little bit of stillness to rest in. Now just letting your awareness sink down, coming into your heart center. Tuning into the unique rhythm of your own heartbeat, the unique rhythm of your body. And take a moment now to reflect back on the week that you've had, on the month that you've had, on the year that you've had, on the past 5 years that you had, past 10 years, and just reflecting back, not spending too long in any level, but just reflecting back to your life, noticing any scenes that immediately jump out to you just in those first moments of reflection. They might be very pleasant, they might be not so pleasant. practicing detaching from any labeling or emotions with them, trusting that emotions might come up, and you should definitely allow those to come and release, but not creating any tension there, not fighting whatever is wanting to be looked at or reflected on. Maybe your mind is very present and you want to stay very present. You can let yourself do that too. And as you tune into your heart center, remind yourself to stay in your heart center as you reflect back. Don't get too wrapped up in the mind and too wrapped up in the thinking, but letting your awareness be a listening rather than a thinking, letting yourself rest in your heart center as you listen. And feeling all of the love that exists in your heart, feeling a deep sense of compassion. Even if you have had negative self-talk in the past, or even a few moments ago or this morning, just remembering that you always have the power to change that narrative. And you can ask yourself, if the words you speak, would you be proud if your loved one heard those words? Or would you speak those words to a loved one? And reminding yourself that you are your own truest, deepest loved one. So being okay and compassionate for those moments where you forget that and you do slip into those negative self-talk. And not resting in that shame cycle for too long, and just reminding yourself you have the power to give yourself compassion. And compassion is the antidote for this shame cycle. And you can really just imagine if every thought that you had was on a loudspeaker for everyone to hear. And how many of those thoughts would you stand behind? How many of those thoughts actually represent the truest you in there? And just being patient and gradually letting go of those thoughts that don't serve you anymore. As you're ready, as it clicks. Having a deep sense now of gratitude for all those moments of darkness in your life. Trusting that when we go deep into those dark spaces, that is when the light is shown to us so brightly, so undeniably, where the messages are so clear that you can't run away anymore, you can't pretend. They're so on point with how you've been feeling or thinking, trusting that those are direct messages to you. And we don't know how spirit works, we don't know how this language goes. We're just allowing ourselves to be open and to speak when we feel led to speak. Reminding ourselves that words can be keys to unlock ourselves from an inner prison, unlock others from their prisons. So as you bring your attention to your throat center, reminding yourself to be honest in communicating with yourself. And if your communications with yourself are anything that doesn't boil down to love and patience and understanding for yourself, your thoughts, for who you are, for where you're at, then that is not honest. That is not supporting the deepest truth that there is. And if you are not honest with yourself, then we cannot be honest with others. So feeling that connection now between your throat and your heart. Allowing that compassion and gratitude from your heart feed into your throat, feeding your vocal cords with that of love, with that of patience, compassion, gratitude. Letting the forehead and the jaw soften, letting the stomach and the shoulders soften. And bringing awareness to the palms of your hands. And just noticing that channel from your heart to the palms of your hands, across the shoulder blades, down the arms, cascading down the arms into the pulsing palms and fingertips. Reminding yourself of the healing power of your hands, your heart directly connected. And feeling that soft or maybe strong pulse in your hands, and just letting that pulse be magnetically drawn to the other palm so that you feel your palms and fingers pulsing into each other, closing that circuit of energy, maybe bringing those palms or the hands to in front of your heart or wherever they feel natural. And just feeling that circle of love and safety you're creating around your heart center. Feeling all that energy that's being generated here. And picturing the space that you're in and allowing this love that you're generating to exude from your body, spread to the surroundings, spread to everyone else who is practicing with you right now, also in this position. Feeling that support from the others. Feeling the support from the angels and spirit surrounding you as you gently bow your head. Bowing your head to your highest self, to the energy that created you, and to all the other energies of love in this space. May this practice soak into your cells and your subconscious and guide you to act in ways of love. May this continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights, and bring some of this love into everything that you do and to everyone that you see. Namaste.